name is Kaylee and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Okay everybody, so happy Wednesday or Thursday depending on what day you guys are seeing this on. But I saw your comments on the last video and majority rules, so I will now be posting 2 story times a week, which I'm kind of excited, kind of nervous, because you guys know that sometimes my posting schedule is just like not the best, but we're gonna give it a go. Okay everybody, so before we get into today's story time, I would like to give a big shout out to Cozy Earth for sponsoring today's video. Now if you don't know what Cozy Earth is, it is a company that makes loungewear and bedding. Now the one thing that I really like about this brand is all of their products are a very minimal style, which is good because I personally do not like bright colors or fun and crazy designs on my clothing or bedding. Like, if you ever see me wearing bright clothing, just know it wasn't my idea. Anyways, not only that, they have enhanced fabric, okay? Now, you know how you spend a lot of money on, say, a pair of leggings and they start pilling after, like, a month? Cozy Earth says that their durable weave fabric will not pill and it is guaranteed for 10 years. That's a very high standard that they are setting. But that makes me happy because if I'm spending a lot of money on something and it's like not wearable after a month, I'm gonna be pretty upset. So I'm actually wearing one of their PJ sets right now and I can say that this stuff is literally, it feels like a cloud. Like, I don't know if you can see the fabric or not, but it looks and feels soft. Like, you cannot tell me that this does not look comfy. Now on their website it says, we personally select only the best supplies with an eye towards premium quality, responsible production, cutting edge technology, and natural materials. Which, we love that. It is 2022. I feel like all clothing manufacturers, everything should be trying to use natural materials. The material is super breathable and super light. Also, I forgot to mention the biggest thing. Their products are made out of bamboo. I also think it's cool that they send some of their products in a little fabric bag and it says Cozy Earth and it zippers at the top. So the first thing that I got from Cozy Earth was a pack of 3 socks, and there are a pair of baby blue ones and a pair of cream socks. And then I have the brown ones on my feet right now, but this is what they look like. And I love these because they are so soft. The first thing that I got was the bamboo rib knit v-neck tank dress in the color ivory, and I got an extra small. This to be one of my favorite pieces. Like, it's super flowy, super lightweight, and it's really soft. These are the bamboo stretch knit classic pajama pants in the color ivory, and I got a small. I love that there's an adjustable drawstring and it has pockets. I feel like pajama pants don't come with pockets nowadays, and they're super flowy and super soft. I also got the matching bamboo stretch knit classic long sleeve pajama top in the color ivory and a small. Again, the shirt is super flowy and super soft, and I love the neckline. It's really cute. I feel like not only is it comfy, but it also looks comfy. Like, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon and I feel like I'm ready for bed. Next, I got the bamboo stretch knit pant in the color ivory and a small. I love how the waistband isn't too tight and it's adjustable, and it is so soft that I literally feel like I'm not wearing clothes. Like, I'm not even joking. I wish you guys could feel it through the screen. This is definitely my new favorite robe out of like the probably 30 that I own. It's so soft, it fits so nice, and it's super flowy and comfortable. And I know that I've said this with literally every piece of clothing that I've tried on, but it literally feels like I'm wearing a cloud. Okay everybody, so that is all that I got from Cozy Earth. Let me know what your guys' favorite piece was down below. Also, one other thing that I forgot to mention that I love is there's a 100-night risk-free guarantee, which means you can try their products for 100 nights, and if you don't like it, you can return it. Now, Cozy Earth was generous enough to give me a code for you guys to use towards your first purchase, and it is Kaylie30, and pretty much you can get 30% off your first order from Cozy Earth. Or you can click the link down below in the description and it will automatically apply the discount to your order. But once again, I would like to say thank you to Cozy Earth for sponsoring today's video. And without further ado, let's get into today's story time. Okay everybody, so I'm going to bring you up close. There we go. Okay, so before we get into today's story time, I'm going to go through my quick usual little rundown. For most of the video, I will be looking in this direction because my mirror's over here and I would like to see what I'm doing. I do tell these story times in a first person point of view, so if you don't like that, then you can leave.
You can pack your things and leave. There's the door. There's the door, bitch!
And these story times are sent in by anonymous people. Oh my gosh, are you guys ready for this? I literally got the cutest headband. And usually I'm not too much of a festive person, but I couldn't resist. So just like close your eyes real quick. Now, was this a necessary purchase? Absolutely not. But it's getting me into the Christmas spirit. And I'm pretty sure I have it on backwards, or they literally just fuck this shit up, because why wouldn't the ears be pointing this way? Anyways, let's get into today's story time. So story time about how I became a stripper at 17. And just a quick thing before we get into how crazy my life is, to be completely honest, I don't think I did anything wrong. Because listen, it is hard out here to make money, and sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. So just keep that in mind before you judge me. Now, this all started, I would say, before OnlyFans became like mainstream, you know, like before the pandemic. And I didn't know what the hell this was until two girls in my school, they were both seniors and they were both 18 years old, so they really couldn't get in trouble for it, but they were telling my friends and I how they were making money on there and how it was super easy. Well, eventually my whole school knew what it was within like that week, because one of my friends just literally can't keep her mouth shut. Well, after everybody found out, a lot of people started using it. The girls and the gays started posting on there, and the guys were buying the subscriptions. To be honest, it was really weird. That's like the only way to explain it. And it was just my mom raising me. My dad left us when I was about 4 years old because he wanted to pursue his dreams of becoming a rapper and hanging out with groupies. I mean, kudos to him, because he does hang out with like very well-known rappers, like mainstream rappers. But of course, he is not a rapper. If anything, he actually just like mooches off of these people. Meaning, like, you know, he'll use them for what they have. Yeah, that's him. Fun fact that has nothing to do with this story time, kind of. My mom's best friend hates me, okay? Well, actually, she hates me because she hates my dad, which is weird because I don't even know that man. But the reason why she hates me is because I took her best friend away. Apparently, I took her best friend away. Like, I asked to be born. And two, my mom was going to abort me. Listen to this. My mom was going to abort me because she thought that I was this guy DeAndre's kid. She had cheated on my dad with this guy named DeAndre. So she was like, oh no, I can't keep this baby. And then she ended up finding out that I was my dad's kid, you know, her boyfriend's kid. So she decided to keep me. How cute. But that's why she hates my dad, because I ended up being my dad's kid. Anyway, she'll like always bring this up whenever she comes and visits my mom. Like, we both hate each other and we both know that. So anytime that like I give her an attitude, she'll be like, just remember, your mom wanted to abort you. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Anyways, like I said, that's just like a fun little story, you know? But back to the main story, okay? Like I said, my mother was a single mom. So, you know, she was trying to do anything that she could do for us to be able to live a comfortable life and not struggle. She would do bartending at the local strip club. Sometimes she would dance there, which she still didn't make a lot of money from because it wasn't like a well-known strip club. This was like low grade, in the hood strip club that nobody even wanted to go to because it got shot up 24/7. So she was really taking one for the team here. Anyway, so I never thought that she had an OnlyFans, right? Wrong. Wrong. Very wrong. Very, very wrong. And I swear, this situation just literally describes my life on a daily basis. Okay? Because listen to how I found out. The one day, I am sitting in my history class, okay? And my teacher goes and, you know, he plugs in his computer into the projector. And then he goes and he opens his web browser. And what is the first thing that literally pops up? Like, can you guys guess? Guess what happens next? Yes, he was on my mom's OnlyFans. I was stunned. I literally, like, I'm thanking God that, like, nobody in the class knew what the hell my mom looked like, because I just know that I would have heard about this for the rest of my life. Well, for the rest of high school, at least. Super weird though. My teacher did call me over after class, and before he even said anything, I was like, look, this is really weird. I was like, I'm not gonna tell anybody, and I'm not gonna tell my mom that I know she is an OnlyFans. And then I just walked out the classroom. So, you know, I'm thinking, and I'm like, you know what? This actually makes a lot of fucking sense. You wanna know why? Because all of a sudden, my mom had more bread than she usually did. You know, she was getting new purses, we got a new apartment, and my dentist had been telling her for the longest time that I needed braces, and she finally got them. literally paid straight out of pocket like fucking $12,000. Yeah, I had some fucked up teeth. Anyways, so yeah, like I said, found out she had an OnlyFans. It makes sense though, because my mom is, not to be weird, she's very good looking, okay? Like, I wish that I look as good as her whenever I am her age, okay? And this is like the worst part about having a good looking mom, okay? All the open houses that I've went to for school, all the guy teachers would try to talk to my mom. Even some of the other kids' dads would literally like start conversations with my mom, and she didn't know who the fuck they were. Specifically, I remember one time being in the grocery store with my mom, and I see one of my friends with their dad, you know, well, their dad and their mom, so it was even weirder. So, you know, like, we walk up, we say hi to each other, my mom introduces herself to, you know, their mom and dad, and then this guy's wife walks away. He says something about how, like, oh yeah, you know, I think you're really beautiful. My wife and I have an open relationship, so if I could take you out on a date anytime, you know, that would be great, blah 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 blah. And my mom was like, okay, like, you know, blah blah blah, you know, they exchanged Facebooks or whatever. Come to find out, my friend's mom was a part of the PTA, okay? And she thought that my mom was trying to get with her husband, even though he literally initiated things. Like, myself and his daughter are literally sitting right there listening to this fucking conversation. So then, you know, she pretty much told everybody that my mom's a whore. Like, what the fuck? Moral of the story, my mother is very good looking, okay? Okay, so I wasn't surprised that she was making bank off of this shit. Anyways, so my sophomore year, I was getting a lot of attention from guys for certain reasons. Okay, for good reasons, I'm not going to lie. For good reasons, I was getting very negative attention, okay? So whenever I was a freshman, I was pretty much branded a hoe. Okay? Not because, you know, I would talk to a lot of guys, but because I ended up sleeping with 8 kids on the football team. Not at once. Not at once. No, just throughout my freshman year. Yeah. But my thing is like, I didn't have good role models in my life, okay? Like, my mom was not anything against my mother. Like, my mother does her shit, you know? Like, she does the best that she can as a single mother, and I respect her for that. But what I'm saying is, I didn't have a good influence in my life when it came to men or respecting myself. My mom worked as a stripper, and I've seen men disrespect my mother before. So maybe daddy issues or something, I don't even know. So just don't judge me still. Like, okay, I know I'm a hoe. And to be fair, they all basically begged me to get with them, okay? So I would sleep with them, and then after, like, they were boring. They were literally boring, so I would ghost them. Like, half the time, like 99.9% of them were terrible in bed, which means there's literally only like one person who was like mediocre. I did find it a little bit weird though, because usually once guys hit, you know, they're like, bye, see ya, I don't want nothing to do with you no more. It was the other way around. So I was kind of like a pimp. Just kidding. Just kidding. I mean, there was like one guy, okay, one guy that I liked, okay, but of course the one that I like does not want me. We hooked up, and then like we sort of talked after, and I'm pretty sure the only reason why he talked to me for a little bit afterwards, like, I'm woman enough to admit, he did not want me. He only was talking to me after because he knew that all of his friends wanted me, which is so embarrassing. But anyways, he ended up getting a girlfriend, and she made him block me on everything, okay? And it's not even like I was trying to get with him again. I gave up on getting with him. Like, I was like, on to the next. I'm not worried about your man. But it stung a little bit whenever she made him block me. Mainly because I would just like stalk his Instagram sometimes. But I guess it's for good reason. Like, I would probably have blocked her if my man slept with her before. I don't know, the situation's debatable. Okay, there's a little bit more to the story than that. Okay, I lied, okay? All right, I'm woman enough to admit that I lied. But after this happened, after he got a girlfriend, I was very hurt, okay? And the reason why I was hurt was because, like, you lead me on, he told me he loved me, not while we were hooking up, while we were kind of talking, okay? He told me that he loved me, so when he got a girlfriend out the blue, I was very, very, very confused, to say the least, okay? So the one day, like, he wasn't texting me back or anything, I see a post on his Instagram that he's with this girl, you know, happy 1 month. So I go up to him in school and I try to talk to him. He just completely ignores me, act like he doesn't know me, completely walks away. And I'm like, okay, if that's how you want to play it, then fine. I called his ass out and I literally posted on my Instagram story a screenshot of our messages, and I tagged him and I was like, I think it's funny how boys will hook up with you and then tell you that they love you all while they have a girlfriend. Well, both of them, I guess, saw that story, so she definitely made him block me. That's the reason why. Yeah. So anyways, so you know, after that whole situation, I just left it at that, and I low-key got a little bored, I'm not gonna lie. And by bored, I mean I wasn't talking to any guys. Like, if I'm not talking to a guy, like, my life is boring and I hate my life. I know that sounds pathetic. But it is what it is, okay? Anyway, so there was this one guy on the football team that I was like talking to because I was bored, and pretty much everybody else was either in a relationship or I just didn't care to pursue things with. And I already slept with this guy, so why would I go and sleep with someone that I don't even want to sleep with? But I guess you could say that this guy was a blessing in disguise, or just an asshole, because during the summer before 11th grade, he decided that he was going to send my nudes to a few of his friends. And by a few, I mean like 30, literally. So of course, whenever 30 people have your nudes, they get around pretty fast. Like, eventually one person's sending them to this person's sending them to 5 people. This person is like, OMG, look whose nudes I have. It's a whole big circus. So by the time that school started, everybody had seen my nudes. And I had no idea about this until school started, literally. Because I pretty much didn't have a lot of friends. Like, all of my friends went to different schools. So like I said, you know, I found out about it, and then I went and I confronted the guy that I sent them to, because obviously I know who I sent my nudes to, and that was the only guy that I was really talking to. So you know, I confront him about it, and he is like scared shitless, you know. He's like, oh my gosh, like, please don't tell on me, blah 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 blah. And I'm not even thinking about telling on him. I'm like, telling on you? What the fuck? So then, you know, I'm like, all right, maybe I can use this to my advantage. And I pretty much blackmail him. I'm like, I'm going to tell, you know, the cops, I'm gonna get them involved, blah 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 blah. So, you know, I pretty much threatened him, and I'm like, okay, well, you have to pay me. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. Like, how much? Like, I don't care. I just don't want to get in trouble. Why would you send them to everybody in the first place if you don't want to get in trouble? You just sound stupid. So, you know, after he pretty much says that he'll pay me, I'm like, all right, how much are you gonna pay me? And he was like, well, how much do you want? And, you know, I was like, I want at least $1,000. And his mouth like drops to the floor. He's like, okay, I honestly thought you were gonna ask for more. And I was like, okay, then I want 1,500. Like, the fuck? Why would you say that? So like I said, I tell him I want 1,500, and he's like, okay, that's fine. And I guess like his family is very strict. Like, his father would have sent him to military school, so makes sense on why he was like fucking scared for his life that I was going to tell on him. So anyways, remember earlier how I told you this guy was like low-key a blessing in disguise? Well, this is why. Everybody in school had seen my nudes. Okay, like every single fucking person. So I decided to embrace this newfound fame that I had. I had guys begging me to send them pictures and sleep with them, which, you know, yes, I had slept with a lot of people and my body count was very high by the time I reached junior year, but I was not with just giving it up to give it up, you know? Especially not for someone to do my homework. So I would send these guys pictures so that way they would do my homework. Why not? I already have pictures out there. What's the point of, what is the harm if I just put more out there? Everybody's already seen everything. Nothing to leave to the imagination anymore. So, you know, I had guys buying me alcohol, buying me weed, doing my homework, everything that you can think of. There was one time where I kind of got in trouble more with my mom. So pretty much what happened, I had sent this guy nudes and his parents went on his laptop and found them. So then his parents called my mom and, you know, they were like, your daughter's sending explicit pictures to our son, blah, 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 blah. So my mom tells me about it. She's like, so what's going on? I tell her and I show her the messages and she's like, well, as far as I know, your son was literally harassing my daughter into sending him pictures. Because obviously I play a little bit hard to get at first. You know, I'm not just going to send them to send them, even though I have them do shit for these pictures. Like, still gotta beg a little bit. So, you know, she was like, if anything, I'll press harassment charges, so you're gonna leave my fucking daughter alone. As soon as my mom said that, they were like, all right, fine, you know, we're all good, you do what you need to do. But then after that, my mom did ground me. She was like, sis, you're not 18. There's no reason for you to be sending these pictures to anybody. And I think that's whenever my mom realized that she kind of screwed up. Because, like I said, I didn't have a very good role model of how to really respect myself, you know? So yeah, at that point she kind of realized, oh fuck, you know, maybe, just maybe I should have taught my daughter to respect herself a little bit more. Too late, mom. Too fucking late, sis. So, you know, I get grounded from my phone. She takes it away for like a month. But I had a bunch of money saved up anyways, so I just went and bought myself a new one. Because, sis, I had a whole business going on. I did not have the time nor the money for this hoe to take my phone away. No, no. So, you know, I'm back in business pretty much, and I am going to the gym every day, you know, getting my nails done, getting a bunch of stuff done so that way I can kind of keep this up, you know, like men aren't gonna do shit for me and pay me if I don't look good. So, you know, like I said, I started going to the gym. Anyway, so there was this guy who was probably in his 30s that went to the same gym that I did. And, you know, he was super good looking, and I definitely wanted to like go up to him, you know, because I actually liked him, you know. This wasn't just a, oh, let me use this guy type of thing. But I was kind of in my own head about it because I was like, sis, this guy's like 30. There's no fucking way he's gonna wanna hook up with someone, you know, who's young, and he probably has a wife, you know. Like, I was just really putting myself down. So for Christmas, my mom promised me that I could go and get a tattoo because she was 16 whenever she got her first one. And I was 17 by this time, but she was originally gonna make me wait until I was 18 when I got caught for all that shit. So I went, I get this tattoo, right? By the way, super cute tattoo. I went on Pinterest and I found like this tattoo of like a snake going down a girl's back, and I decided to get it because it looked hot. So I get the tattoo, and you know, the next week I am at the gym, and so that guy comes up to me and he's like, hey, nice tattoo, do you have an Instagram that I can follow you on? No, I'm sorry, he was like, do you have an Instagram or an OnlyFans that I could follow you on? I was a little offended at the fact that he, you know, kind of just like assumed that I had an OnlyFans, but like I said earlier, I really like this guy, so I was like, oh, like, how about you give me your Instagram, you know, completely ignored the OnlyFans part. I was like, why don't you give me your Instagram and I'll follow you? And he was like, oh, okay. So after he gives me his Instagram, I bolt to the bathroom, okay? And I scrub my Instagram clean of anything that might seem like I am not 18, you know? I literally had a picture up that was taken like maybe a month ago saying something about turning 17. Had to get rid of that shit. Also the fact that, you know, I had a few pictures that were taken at my high school. So I was like, fuck, you know? And pretty much my whole Instagram was deleted after that. So, you know, later that night, him and I are talking on Instagram, and he was like, I hope this doesn't sound weird, but I think you should start an OnlyFans. And I was like, oh, like, I wouldn't make any money on there, ha ha ha. Even though I knew I would, I was just like fishing for compliments, I'm not gonna lie. He was like, I can promise you, you would definitely make money. I know a few girls who do it. I could even teach you how to make good money off of it. So I was like, I don't know, I'll think about it. And then I was like, fuck, you know, I actually really want to make one, but I don't have anything that says that I am 18. So the one day when my mom has her best friend over the house and they're in the kitchen talking, you know, doing their thing, and my mom's best friend left her purse in the living room. So I ended up snaking a picture of her ID and using it for my OnlyFans. It was a lot of work, to be honest. Anyways, so, you know, I ended up setting up the OnlyFans, and I told a couple people at my school about it, and I also told that guy that I had started one. And at the end of the first week, I had like 45 subscribers on there, and at that time I was only posting like bikini pictures, you know, mirror pictures, nothing too scandalous. And in like 2 weeks, I made $800, literally. And Christmas is coming up, so I just said, fuck it. I wanted to make more money. And after I posted my first nude picture on there, I was making bank. I'm pretty sure that I literally had 2 of my teachers subscribe to my OnlyFans, which was fucking creepy. But you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm not gonna lie, the guys would ask me to do some real weird shit. Cause you know, you can like private message people on there and they can send you money. So I would do that stuff, you know. Like this one guy had a foot fetish, so I would send him pictures of my feet. Yeah. So the one guy that said that he would teach me how to use the OF, he slid into my DMs and he was like, hey, you know, just wanted to say congratulations. I see that you're doing really well. He was like, I want to take you out to celebrate with me. He's like, you and I could go to dinner and get some drinks and we can talk business. So of course I agreed. And then of course, as I am sitting there, you know, like super excited, I realized, how the fuck am I gonna get drinks if I'm not 21? So I had to go through a lot of trouble to get a fake ID that, you know, actually looked good. Which, let me tell you, that was just a fucking shit show. So fast forward, I meet him that night for dinner and we have a really good time, actually. We talk business and he's telling me about how he owns one of the second most popular strip clubs in our area, and he was wondering if I was interested in pretty much dancing there. And I'm like, yeah, see, I don't know how to do that. And he's like, well, I have a few of the girls that could teach you. And I'm like, okay. And then after that, him and I did end up hooking up. So yeah. And if any of you guys were like wondering at all, like where my mom was at during all of this, she didn't care what I did, like at all. She did not care. So I was good to do whatever I wanted. As long as I went to school and did my shit, I was fine. So, you know, it's winter break and I am going and hanging out with some of the girls that work at the club, and, you know, they're kind of showing me the ropes and stuff like that, which was cool. Very intimidating. And I started dancing like 3 days after that, and let me tell you something, I was literally making, I'm pretty sure I was making more money than my mother was, which wasn't a surprise because, like I said, my mom worked at like one of the low grade strip clubs. So, you know, fast forward, I'm almost 18. I'm literally making around $20,000 to $30,000 a month, and I wanted to drop out of school so freaking bad. Like, you guys actually don't know how bad I wanted to drop out of school. Like, I was ready, but couldn't do that because, like I said, as long as I went to school, my mom kept her shit together. And when I say that like almost every single guy that I went to school with was subscribed to my OF, I literally mean almost every single guy that I went to school with. It was even kind of weird because like a lot of the freshmen were subscribed to me, and I was like, how the hell are you guys getting subscriptions? Things got really weird at one point, so I had to make a decision whether I was going to drop out of school or do online school, so that way I could have like low-key some privacy and I didn't feel weird around everyone. So I asked my mom if I could do online, which wasn't really weird because she knew that I hated the school that I went to anyways, you know. She was like, all right, that's fine, you know, blah, 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 blah. We signed me up for online. My mom low-key started to catch on, but I literally just told her that I had a really rich boyfriend and that she needs to mind her business. But I could definitely tell that she like low-key wasn't buying it. So, you know, she was like, well, how come your boyfriend can afford all this stuff? And I was like, Mom, his parents have a lot of money. Like, what the fuck? And you know, she was like, I want to see a picture of this boy. So I literally pull up a picture of me with one of my gay friends and I show her and she's like, honey, and I'm like, what? And she was like, he looks a little fruity. And I'm like, Mom, that is so fucking homophobic. Like, what is wrong with you? I was like, that is rude. And she's like, no, I'm not even saying it like that. She was like, I just don't want you to get hurt, you know, if he leaves you. And I'm like, Mom. So, you know, she kind of shut her mouth after that. And then I was like, Mom, can I go sleep over at my boyfriend's house? You know, she lets me go. I don't even fucking have a boyfriend. Like I said, like, I do not have no man. I don't need a man, period. I was actually just staying in an apartment that I got for myself. So, period. And I know you guys are probably wondering, well, you're literally not even 18, so how'd you get an apartment? Well, one of the guys that, you know, I had sent stuff to, he was like really big into real estate and he owned this Airbnb that was like near us, you know, and he pretty much like rented it out for me. No, he let me rent it from him. Yeah, that's how it goes. And since like my mom was getting even more skeptical than she was before, she started like checking my grades every day, you know, like really checking up on me, calling me 24/7. It was like really weird. And the one week she was like, I want us to go out to dinner, you know, like I feel like I haven't just been able to sit down and talk to you for a while. I should have knew this shit was a setup. So, you know, I'm like a month and a half away from being 18. And right before my mom had told me that she wanted us to go out to dinner, I was dealing with some bullshit from these girls at my school. This one girl was super pissed off at the fact that her boyfriend was subscribed to my OF. Like, there's nothing I can do about that, sis. And you know, I didn't really think it was a big deal until I found out that, you know, he was one of the people that was requesting like, you know, private videos and stuff like that. So then I kind of realized like, oh shit, of course. And she had threatened to tell my mom if I didn't pay her. And I was like, okay, like, you know, I'll give you $100. And she also wanted me to block her man, but I was like, no, just delete the app off of his phone or tell him to delete it. Like, I'm not going through all this bullshit. And she was like, my sister does OF. She was like, I know you make way more money than $100. You can afford to pay me $5,000. I was like, what the fuck? So, you know, I agreed to pay her $5,000 after a lot of arguing and negotiating. And I'm like, I can do that, but you have to get your man to unsubscribe. She's like, all right, whatever. This opened the gate for girls to threaten me with telling my mother about what I was doing if I didn't pay them. And it was like 3 more girls who were asking for $5,000. Like, that right there is $20,000. I gave the one girl $5,000 and now 3 more are asking for the same shit. So at this point, like, I knew this shit was gonna keep happening and I was getting super pissed off about it, but there wasn't really anything that I could do because if my mom found out that I was doing this shit, or if anybody found out that I was under 18 who knew that I did this shit, I would be fucked, especially since I work at a strip club and I have a lot of adult subscribers. Like, literally 95% of my subscribers are literally full-grown men and women. So, you know, I kind of started to cut back. I stopped stripping. I was like, all right, you know, I'm gonna take a break from this shit, at least until I turn 18. I told the guy that I was going on like a really long vacation, you know, I just needed to get away for a little bit. All of this was getting a little bit too much for me. He was like, okay, that's completely understandable, you know, whenever you're ready to come back, we'll be here. So I'm like, okay, period. And the other 3 girls, they literally, I gave them, I told them, I was like, y'all can get $2,500 or y'all can fuck off. Like, pick one. So of course, you know, I paid them. And I actually was planning on just stopping everything since I was like getting blackmailed. Like, I was just gonna continue whenever I turned 18. But after like a week of not doing it and realizing that like there's like really no way for me to make money, I continued doing it. Plus, I had almost 6 figures saved up. So, like I said, I started doing it again. I figured at this time, like, I have 3 weeks until I turn 18, okay? Everything should be good. Wrong. So, like I said, my mom told me that she wanted me to come out to dinner. And y'all, let me fucking tell you, like I said, that shit was a fucking setup. She figured it out. So, you know, I'm at the house, we drive to dinner, we're talking, you know, and then we're driving and she's like, do you want me to drop you off at your apartment? And I look at her and I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, oh, you know, the apartment that you're illegally renting. Ugh. I literally wanted to punch her in the face. And you know, I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. She was like, oh, she was like, okay, well when we get there, you know, we're gonna go inside and we're gonna talk a little bit more. So we get inside the apartment and then she pulls out a bunch of receipts, pretty much, proof. And she pretty much told me to pack all of my shit and we're going home and we're gonna deal with this shit tomorrow, because her legit words were, you're fucked and I'm gonna make your life hell until you turn 18. Pack your shit up and we're going home. Bruh. So, you know, I pack my shit, we're home, and at this point I'm having a full-blown fucking panic attack. So she falls asleep and she's fucking stupid. Like, she should have known that I was gonna make a run for it. Like, she should have known. Like, how do you think you're gonna say that to me and then what? So then, you know, the friend that I had showed her that was my boyfriend, I like called him. I was like, hey, can you please come pick me up? Like, I really need you to pick me up right fucking now. And you know, he came and picked me up. I was like, okay, I'm gonna give you $5,000. I need your car. And he's like, what? And I'm like, I just need your car. I need to get out of state for a few weeks and then I'll give it back. And he was like, okay. So he literally let me take his car 3 states over, and I stayed in a hotel for a week. And then, you know, I heard that people were looking for me and the cops were looking for me, and y'all, what the fuck? So, you know, my card gets locked and the police find out the last place that I used my card, because my card is hooked up to my mom's account. Like, I have an account under hers. So at this point I only have 2 weeks of hiding out before I can show my face again. So what do? I go find an Airbnb where I can pay them in cash, and I end up staying there for 2 weeks. My OnlyFans ended up being taken down. The guy that I was stripping for at the club was literally blowing up my fucking phone. He literally sent me a fucking text message that was like, don't ever show your face around here again. You've caused this place so much trouble. You're lucky I don't turn you into the police myself, blah, 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 blah. So I use this to my advantage, and I'm like, I'll never show my face again if you give me $10,000. Not only that, if you don't, I'll tell the cops. I would literally go and turn myself in, and then I'm gonna tell them everything about you and about how you were letting an underage girl dance at your club, not to mention we hooked up, and third of all, how you were the one who like kind of coerced me into making an OF in the first place. I was like, so unless you want to go to jail, you might just want to pay up. So then, you know, he's blowing up my phone. I'm so sorry, blah, 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 blah. Like, you know, literally like shitting his pants pretty much. So at this point, you know, hit out for another week. I'm literally about to turn 18. Literally like 2 days. And at that point, I decided that I'm never going back to my mother's house ever again. But I do call her and I tell her everything that's been going on. She was pissed off, but she said, you know, I love you. I want you to come home. And I was like, I'm not coming home yet. Like, not until I turn 18. So I turn 18, get all the shit figured out with the cops, you know. It was a shit show, like a literal shit show. Pretty much I didn't finish high school. Wasn't doable, even though I literally had 2 months before I graduated, which sucks. Those girls who wanted paid off, yeah, I hooked up with their boyfriends, so they can cry about it now. I hope that $5,000 was worth it. And let's see. Oh, I ended up moving to Arizona and I made another OF, but the issue was, well, they tried to like ban me from ever using the app, but they didn't have my real ID. So y'all are stupid. But yeah, I was never able to grow my page to what it was before, sadly, but I still dance and I'm living, I would say, a comfortable life. You know, I have a boyfriend who makes a lot of money, so I don't really have to rely on dancing. It's more of so just something to bring in extra cash now. My mom begs me to come home 24/7, but there's really nothing in that town for me now. Like, there's nothing. And I'm pretty sure if I went back, I'd have a lot of people out for me. So that is the story of how I was a dancer at 17. Okay, everybody, that is the end of today's story time. If you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of me, maybe hit that subscribe button down below. And if you want to know whenever I post my next YouTube video, make sure to click that bell. And if you want to send in your anonymous story time, or you want to know how to send one in, make sure to click the link down below in the description. But other than that, I will see you guys this Saturday with a new story time.